everybody? It's your boy AlexisMaurice and my co-host, Mr.
Trey Hollywood.
And it is time for a new episode of The Wine. So go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine. Ladies, pull on some lipstick, pull up a chair, because we're about to discuss some of the hot topics. It's been a tough week, so I'm going to go ahead and take my first sip. I'm drinking not wine on tonight, but I'm drinking some hardcore liquor, because there's some hardcore shit going on in the world today.
That it is.
Go ahead and take your first sip. Comment below and tell us what you're drinking. Trey, what are you drinking?
I'm actually not drinking tonight.
Again, you're not drinking.
Yes.
That's all right. I'll drink enough for the both of us.
All right, cool.
Before we begin, make sure you guys go ahead and like this video. Make sure you share it on all of your social media platforms. If you love us in support. Share it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, your stories. Make sure that you include the link wherever you actually post it. We would greatly appreciate all of the likes, the views, the love, and also make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you can be a part of our first look club whenever we post a new video.
There was a wise woman that once said, sharing and supporting is free. So just share.
Bitch, I thought you was about to say something profound.
That's profound. All you gotta do is send the link, watch it, like it, put it out there.
It costs you nothing.
Nothing.
Support us.
Support me, bitch.
Support me.
Support me, bitch.
Support Trey.
Support me, bitch.
Support us.
Yes.
Support me, bitch.
And if you don't, you are a bad friend.
You are a bad friend. It's a bad friend. You are a bad friend. You are a bad friend. Bad friend. Bad friend. You are a bad friend. Bad friend. Bad friend. Support me, bitch.
Listen, it's been a tough week. For those of you who have been living up on the rock, on Tuesday, an 18-year-old gunman, Mr. Salvador Ramos, walked into Robb Elementary School, and he went in and he shot and killed a total of 19 children and 2 adults. Hopefully the death toll does not rise anymore, but yet again, we have another mass shooting. This time, though, it was at an elementary school. I don't know about you, but when I heard this, it tore me up. I cannot imagine the fear, the confusion on those little babies' face, in their mind, where someone entered their school, supposed to be a safe place where learning is supposed to take place, and they went in and killed 19 helpless, innocent, defenseless, vulnerable children and 2 teachers. From what we're hearing, all of the people who died, they were all in the same room. He just went in and just opened fire. We have no idea what was the driving cause or the catalyst. I don't think there is no catalyst. There's no reason why no man should ever go into any type of school and just open fire on innocent little children. It was hard to watch. We see this time and time again. They're going to come back and say, oh, there was mental issues. He was radicalized. My thing is, fuck all of that.
I saw something today that said that he was bullied because him and his family were not, they were less fortunate. They didn't have money. Yeah. So he was bullied because of how he dressed and everything. And of course, now it seems like they're trying to use this as a reason for his actions. But my thing is, who are you being bullied by? Not those elementary school kids. Right. Not saying you should go shoot up somebody, your own school or something like that, but the elementary school, they weren't the one that was bullying you.
It had nothing to do with what was going on.
Nothing. It breaks my heart for many reasons because, we know people who work in the school industry. My sister, I couldn't imagine getting a phone call, and you know how my sister and how close we are, just to hear that my sister's school was shot up and the capacity I could have lost my sister. It's tough. Our hearts and the prayers go out to all the family and friends to involved with this. It's so unfortunate. It's heartbreaking because it's happening so often. Mm-hmm. And it's happening against people who have nothing to do with the situation. Like, we don't want crime, of course, at all. But to go and say that somebody decided to actually record themselves or to get in a car or ride a bike, get on the bus, drive to somewhere, to shoot up somewhere that has nothing to do with them.
And they're intentional about it. They're leaving little Easter eggs on Facebook, announcing that we're going to do this. This is the profile of these serial killers, because I call them serial killers. A lot of times people like to attach mental illness to it. Sometimes it's not mental illness. Sometimes it's just pure evil. There are some people who are just very, very evil. Evil spirits in this world who are out with the intentions to harm people, to kill, steal, and destroy, take away people's lives. And I just hate that we've now gone into this cycle. Oh, this has happened. Oh, we're sending out prayers. Oh, he suffered from mental illness. Enough is enough. HR 8, which is the bill that's been sitting in the Senate, has passed in the House, which actually promotes background checks where people who don't need to own guns. I do think people have the right to bear arms to protect themselves, but an AR-15, these assault rifles, these magazines, what the hell do we need those type of guns for? And this time we didn't have that gun. We didn't have those guns in this shooting, but we've had over 200 mass shootings here in the United States. Just a few weeks ago, we had where another white supremacist, conservative, cracker-ass, cracker Republican has gone into the supermarket in a predominantly Black neighborhood and opened fire. He killed, I think, 10 people, injured more in a supermarket because he was pure hatred of Black people. He was radicalized or whatever, and he went in and killed all these people. How many more people, how many more children have to die? He made this argument over and over again. There's mental illness across the fucking world. There's mental illness everywhere. But for whatever reason, here in the United States, we have all of these mental illness related shootings. Enough is enough. Pass these bills. There's other types of gun control. Reduce access to those dangerous weapons, those magazines, those AR, those rifles that we talk about. Background checks. Instituting age limits. You got to be 21 years old to drink. You got to be 25 years old to rent a car. Like, we have all of these other type of regulations before the gun. You can be 18 years old and go buy a gun. Or your damn mom and daddy can give you a gun if you live in the country. Mental health evaluations. One of the things that I've been reading a lot more on is the smart gun technology, where they put the chips in the gun, which ties it to, assign it to you, your ID, your social security number, whatever, disable the guns, whatever that actually looks to, as well as going after some of these gun manufacturers, holding them accountable. If something goes wrong with a medical device or a medicine, we can sue the people who made it. Why can't we now go after those people who actually manufactures these guns? Enough is enough. I am so sick and tired of these goddamn Republicans, these conservatives. They can make legislation, manipulate the laws to now try to outlaw abortions, to take away the woman's right to choose, to take away books that teaches about slavery and racism, this mythical critical race theory that they think is being taught in the schools. Don't say gay. Oh my God, don't say gay. But they can't do anything. This gun violence and gun reform.
I posted this on my Facebook, being that you brought that up. I said, and I stand by this, I said, we live in a country that thinks protecting the life of an unborn baby and regulating women's bodies is more important than protecting the lives of ones already born and regulating guns. That's why this keeps happening. This is not something new. This has been happening for years.
Yeah.
Like you asked, when is it going to stop?
Right.
What has to happen? You know what has to happen? One of their family members has to get killed.
Right.
One of their children has to be the ones to get murdered. That's when it's going to stop.
I can't imagine. I mean, Trey, you're a father. I'm not a father, but just the thought of for a parent to be at work, to be doing something, and then get the notification there's a school shooting. Then finding it out that that's the school that your child goes to. You're calling. You can't get in contact with anyone. You see it's coming across your phone. It's coming across the news. Oh my fucking God, my child's school. You can't get in contact with anyone. You don't know if your child is alive. I cannot imagine the terror that a parent must feel, not knowing if your child is alive or if they have fallen to another senseless act of violence. Just like you said before, you can pass these laws to protect unborn babies, but you ain't doing shit to protect the ones that are alive, that have been born, that are in families, that are in schools, that are learning to become productive citizens. You won't do anything to protect them. But what is it? Beto O'Rourke, he's the guy that's going to be running for governor in Texas. He confronted Governor Abbott on Wednesday. He told him, he was like, you guys need to do something. And what did they do? They want to attack him instead of addressing the problem when it comes to this gun violence. And I think we need to get to the point where what Beta did, we all need to start confronting them. We all need to start getting in their damn faces.
You see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore.
Make it uncomfortable for them. Get in their faces. It makes no sense that over 70%, 80% of the American population wants some type of gun reform, but these Republicans are holding up, these senators are holding up the HR 8 bill. Ted Cruz,
dumbass.
Dumbass.
Woo.
And Trey, matter of fact, you're out there in goddamn Texas. Now that I just thought about it again, your damn governor, Senator Ted Cruz, talking about maybe it's time for us to arm the teachers. Why on earth do we need to equip the teachers with more guns? We've seen that there's been other instances where people tried to retaliate and gain control of the situation, and they still get shot or nothing changes. You know, and they already have kids to be worrying about, keeping them calm. We don't need to give them a gun where they're shaking and mistakenly possibly shoot one of the kids. Right. No, that's not a solution. That's not a smart solution.
You're stupid. You're not smart. You're not smart.
That was the dumbest thing to say.
When you're in that situation, you don't know what you'll do. Everyone will say, oh, if that was me, I'd shoot him or I'd attack him. You don't know what you would do if you hear those sounds going off and you're seeing people falling, dying next to you. It has to stop.
You know, Abbott's paralyzed. He's in a wheelchair. I didn't know that until this past weekend because the NASCAR race was here in Texas and he waved the green flag. He was in a wheelchair. So I went and Google search. Abbott has been in a wheelchair since the 90s. It says that he was jogging one day, a tree fell. And that's how you know God don't like a tree fell. A tree fell and fell on him, and he's been paralyzed since then.
But that doesn't stop a person from being able to serve in office.
Absolutely not. But baby, that man is nothing but stupid, pure evil. He's dumb him damn self.
These conservative Republicans, they want to attack abortion, women's right to choose, but at the same time, they believe in capital punishment. So they can take an adult person's life, but the life of an unborn child has to be protected. We'll kill you if you do X, Y, Z. The midterms are coming up this November, and this is a crucial election. We have a Democratic president right now. Usually what happens is in the midterm, Congress sways in the opposite direction. We cannot allow these Republicans who do not represent the majority of the people and the views in the United States. But we got to get them out. We got to get these old white men, these prejudiced, discriminatory ideologies, racist ideologies, conservative stuff that majority of the country don't subscribe to anymore. Got to get them out. So let's talk about Tank. R&B superstar Tank recently did an interview on Drink Champs. And on Drink Champs, he talked about a lot of things. The stigma when it comes around being gay in the Black community and how there's a deep-rooted hate for gay people in the Black community. And even how sometimes people use, accusing someone of being gay to kind of degrade them or use it as an assault against a person's character. So we've seen that, of course, on this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But it's being put out there now that Ralph is not only an asshole as a husband, but he's also gay. There's a speculation out there as gay. So we tend to weaponize the use of being gay. He also talked about him kind of stepping outside of the box and not being afraid to perform at gay functions. I actually had the pleasure of seeing Tank perform that first time he did it in DC. I was actually there. But he was saying how he is open to the idea of performing at these. I respect gay people, for who they are, what they do. I'm not gay. I'm secure in myself. Even though I like to get my booty hole eaten every now and then by a woman, because he did say that in past interviews. Trey, what did you think about Tank and his comments and his beliefs about this?
I'm just going to first of all say, I don't think that Tank enjoys getting his backside area eaten by...
His box?
Yeah, he
said it. What do you mean you don't think he said it?
Let me finish. You'll see, you don't even know what I'm about to say. Let me finish what I'm saying. I don't think that he enjoys getting his box eaten by only women. I think he likes to get it eaten by anybody who will.
See, here you go. You being one of them people that he was talking about.
Because what I'm saying is, ain't no woman gonna eat it better than a man. Okay,
that's the same ideology. When no woman is gonna suck a dick better than a man. I don't necessarily believe that. Just like women know how women like to be pleased, I do think that
men know how to be pleased. Yeah,
but I do
naturally, the person who's doing eating, usually, if anything, if a man is going down on a female or man.
There is some women who know how to do the do.
And majority.
Some men who know how to eat the box, who know how to make a woman orgasm. So what are you talking about, Trey?
Whatever, AlexisMaurice, whatever. However, I do appreciate him being vocal and expressing how heterosexual people, homosexual people, whoever, you support me, you put food on my table, I'm going to come in and perform for you. I think it's important for artists to realize that sometimes, if not majority of the time, their fan base may be more so the homosexuals. Trey Songz, pretty sure majority of his is maybe the females and homosexuals. Chris Brown, same thing. So when you get to the point of you realizing that, you know what, my fan base is my fan base, no matter who they are, whether they're black, white,
regardless of who they
skinny, straight, gay, tall, short, Hispanic, whatever the case may be. You put food on my table and you're paying me. He said, where the bag at? Where is the bag? Because that's all I'm worried about.
When he did it the first time, after he was done, boom, you know, the confetti and all that shit, pow, and like boom, everybody was kind of like, oh, and everybody was kind of like, oh,
so you remember, okay.
And then he was like, if y'all sisters don't get up and turn up, and everybody, you know, did kind of like loosen up a little, because I think sometimes we just looking at people like, you just here for the bag, you ain't really trying to come and fuck with us like that. A lot of people did feel some type of way about his use of the word sissy.
So,
but tell me did you feel some type of ways about him saying that, Trey?
So did he really say that in DC?
Yeah, he was like, if y'all sissies don't turn up, I can't remember if he said sissies. How do you feel about him using that word?
Well, it didn't bother me, but I figured that it would probably bother some people. If you're a straight guy, you're talking to a room full of gay guys, and you call me a sissy. I mean, of course, good he didn't call y'all anything else that, you know, people. You know, I don't like to use that word. You know that word. And so at least he didn't.
The F-bomb.
Yeah, the F-bomb. I think that it's humor. Is humor in that. And if you know Tank and his personality, we see it. You know, his interviews, when he performed, he has a sense of personality. And so he's telling y'all, he's like, get the fuck up and let's get crunk. Like, I'm here to perform for y'all.
He took his shirt off eventually, and people were into it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I walked away from that performance. I have been a fan of Tank ever since then, because he stepped outside of the norm. I can understand why people probably felt some type of way. He didn't have any malice in his heart. There weren't any cruel intentions when he actually said that. He was just saying, you know, if y'all punk, y'all sissies, y'all girls, and maybe everybody wanted to say, if y'all guys don't turn up, it just wouldn't have had the same effect if you would have said sissies or punks. But he didn't mean anything by it. One of your friends, Terry on Twitter, he was basically saying, like, you guys are taking out of context, and this could possibly be a teachable moment. If there was an opportunity where people felt obsessed, well, just have a conversation with him, and then, you know, let's exchange ideas, let's talk, and let's just agree, and then we move on. But I think people sometimes take things out of context, and this is one of the ones. He didn't use that word to be offensive, but he wasn't trying to degrade people or anything like that. So shout out to Tank for,
Tank.
Like, I really think a lot of artists, especially male artists, Black male artists, because I think sometimes some white artists have no problem with going to pride events. Right. But I think a lot of times if male Black artists, whether it's rap, R&B, hip hop, can just get out of their head for a second and be open to the idea. You know, sometimes how they talk about, you know, when you go to clubs now, people don't be dancing no more. They just be drinking, standing around, talking. But if you come to a gay function, the girls be out on the floor dancing and getting down and stuff like that. I would be surprised. Like, it's a whole turn up. We have a good time. We enjoy each other. Sometimes we fight. We do drugs. So we do some other things. So
y'all be doing that? Y'all be doing all that?
Child, not like you ain't live in Atlanta. You know what goes on here, child. Now, something else Tank talked about, and did you see the clip when he was talking about Beyonce and Kelly Rowland?
Yes.
So he basically said, wow, he was blown away by Kelly's vocal abilities and, you know, working with her. And he made the comment that Destiny's Child was set up to adorn Beyonce, and the other girls are kind of just there. But once he got to work with Kelly, he heard her vocal abilities, her arranging abilities, and how she's just a phenomenal artist, sort of kind of underrated. Trey, what did you think about when he said that? And do you believe that Kelly is somewhat underrated?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it is her own fault. She's the type of artist that puts music out, and it's no disrespect, so don't block me, Kelly. And don't unfollow me. I love you. I think she's a lazy artist. And I say that because she'll put an album out and there's not really much behind it, at least here in the US. Like I've told people before, Kelly Rowland is the Beyonce overseas. I listen to all her albums faithfully. And so I know that she has the ability. Kelly Rowland is the one that is the voice of Destiny's Child. So when Tank says that, you know, it took him to actually work with her to be like, wow, when we listen to stuff and you have a group, you're overpowered by maybe whoever's in the group, you don't know until you actually listen to that artist or work with that artist. Not to, you know, take anything from Kelly and not to bring her up, but I'm going to bring her up. This is why a lot of people appreciate Brandy after working with her, because they realize what she's actually able to do in the studio. When you work with people like that, I think that's why he's like, the fuck, Kelly?
But guess who another person who didn't know who the hell Brandy was? Jack Harlow. Okay, so Trey, tell me what's going on with this whole situation. Perfect segue, since you wanted to bring Miss Brandy Norwood up, girl. The girls don't know who she is, child. Y'all can call her the vocal Bible, but the girls don't know who she is. So,
Your Highness,
what happened with this whole Jack Harlow situation?
So Jack never said he didn't know who Brandy was.
That's what he said. No, you're right. He didn't know that Brandy was Ray J's sister. However, you have to understand, Jack, Ray J is Brandy's brother. Now, I can see where people may be like, well, damn, I didn't know that Snoop Dogg is their first cousins. Like, they're related. That's their cousin. So I can get people not knowing. Cousin? Yeah, that's their cousin. Okay. So, okay, you don't know that. But to say that you don't know, that's kind of like saying you got Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, right? You see how close they are, how much love they have for one another. That's a whole different league, girl. That's a whole different league.
That's the same thing that Brandy and Ray J have. Like,
that's a different league. So people gonna know Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson are brother and sister.
Because they have the same last name.
Because that's a whole nother type of level of artistry.
But what I'm saying to you is, hold on now you feel like you're downplaying Brandy and Ray J.
Well, I mean, you can't compare her to Michael Jackson.
I'm comparing the bond that they have as a brother and sister. I could compare me and my sister to Michael and Janet because of the bond that we have. So that's what I'm comparing it to.
I love your sister, but you cannot compare yourself to them. Janet and Michael is royalty.
Of course, Maurice, of where they're at in their career and who we know them as. What I'm talking about as far as their bond is the same thing, Brandy and Ray J. So it's kind of weird to say that you're in that music industry where you work with Black artists, to say that you didn't know that Brandy and Ray J. And then for when you were interviewed and you said Aaliyah when they played a song, baby, that didn't sound nothing like Aaliyah.
But Trey, I mean,
and then you try to tell me, then you try to say that, oh, it's because he's young. No, baby, that has nothing to do with it at all. Brandy being who she is.
He's younger.
Don't mean nothing.
You don't take a hip hop course before you become a hip hop artist. Oh, this is
tutorials
you need to know. Nobody does that.
Tutorials.
Ain't nobody taking no damn online training of all the damn hip hop cousins.
So Brandy who Brandy is. Brandy did her little funny clapback. And I don't know if you heard it. She basically did a remix to his song.
I heard. I haven't heard it yet, but I did hear that she kind of did a freestyle. Was it a freestyle or was it?
Brandy got bars. Brandy got bars, okay? Brandy said in the song, Queens may got canceled, but you can't cancel a queen. Been in this game for 20. She said, no longer call me Brandy, call me your highness. Brandy got bars, okay?
She ain't got no driver's license.
When you get this, let me be like Nene.
And see, that's why her ass got fired right now.
Who got fired? Oh, Nene?
Nene.
Oh, okay. I thought you saw Brandy, but that's okay.
But Brandy got fired too. They canceled Queen. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Wine Up. We hope that you've enjoyed it. Comment below. Let us know what you've been thinking about everything. Again, share this video on all of your social media platforms.
Support me, bitch.
And we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Yes. Oh, I was jamming, you know.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I was feeling the beat. You gotta feel the beat. You gotta feel the beat. Feel the beat. The beat. You gotta feel the beat.
I didn't feel the beat, baby. I didn't feel the beat.